Okay, cool.
Dun, dun,
Welcome back.
Dun, dun.
It's a new intro.
Thank you.
Fuck off, man. Hey. Share the scotch. Look at this. Look at Chris's glass.
He's your guest. Jesus Christ.
Superstar.
All right.
So,
Thanks.
number 30.
Number 38.
Welcome back to First Frames First, episode 38.
Yes, and this is an episode that I've been looking forward to for a really long time. Because as you know, this show is tracking our progress as we attempt to make our way to use our movies, create movies, make movies that will eventually be able to make us a little bit of money.
Yep.
To the point that we are paying for the mortgage, paying for our retirement. We are living normal lives on the backs of our films.
I'm one of your hosts, Jason Green.
I'm the other one, Adrian Constant, the best one, the number one guy, the best.
And I'm the top guest, the number one guest.
This show, this time.
In this episode.
In episode 37.
So far,
Chris.
it's been okay. As a
And
guest.
his name is Chris Watson.
Indeed.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed last week's episode, or last 2 weeks ago episode, where we really talked about kind of who Chris was, walked through kind of his history and how did you guys, I don't think we actually heard the story. How did you guys actually meet? There's like a Christian mingle at the university.
And we're singing Kumbaya.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
it
was on
seemed
bass,
like Christian death metal. Air guitar is what was happening here, or something like that. But
No, really. I mean, I was just sitting on the stairs at university, and Chris walked over and kissed me around the lips.
you guys locked eyes.
I love it at
It was love
first
at
sight.
sight.
It's been fantastic ever since.
So we have a wonderful buddy who lives in Thailand at the moment. Another South African guy.
Also a wanderer, right? A
bit of
global
bit of
wanderer.
a global
yeah.
wanderer for sure. Michael Slater, you've met him.
Oh,
So his residency at UCT was right next door to Chris.
okay.
And so I would go, my residency was kind of on the other side of the campus.
Right.
Not far away, it was walking distance, but it was like a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
But I would go and visit Michael all the time, and Chris would be there, and
Yeah.
we were like the wild, crazy ones. And people, what did they call you?
Old Man Inverse.
Old man inverse.
There's a story though, but I've kind of forgotten what it was. But yes, these dudes were the crazy film guys who were just all over the place. And I was a bit down the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, we sort of got to hang out, had music in common, had interests in all sorts of stuff.
He is a very wonderful guitarist.
Oh, amazing.
And a very wonderful bassist. So yeah, and we've actually formed a band together over the years. So this is going back to, I don't think we played in UCT together, but in Korea we started to play in a band together. Did we ever play before that? Oh, we did actually. Yeah, at our
That one party.
yeah,
that
we
you
had
guys
a big house party,
Huge house party.
and so this friend Mike was vocals,
Yeah.
I was on guitar, bass, and we brought in a drummer, Snow Dog, and Edwin also jumped in.
Yeah.
You guys sang "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey. And the rest is
If
history.
only we could. Oh,
Yeah,
what an
if we were that
amazing-
good.
Yeah, come on. We were like Nirvana. And then maybe you can hit the notes. Come on, Mike, you can do it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Smells like Teen Spirit.
But yeah, so that was way back when.
We had a CD. It had a little baby dick on the cover.
Yeah.
As you do. Isn't there a documentary out about the person that's on the cover?
There is
No,
something.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
there
I
is
was like,
something
oh,
out
no,
there
yeah.
about the baby from the Smells Like Teen
Didn't
Spirit
they
cover.
do it like where he actually redid it? I
Yes,
might be
as an
making
older
this up,
man.
but he jumped in and did
Yeah,
it.
and did the picture again.
That is amazing.
That
Can
is
you
amazing.
imagine if you were always like, oh, you ever see that Huggies baby with the diaper being pulled down?
Yeah.
That's me, Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, thanks. That was a good pull from last
I
episode.
don't know,
Right.
My memory is really good. Like 2 weeks ago, we did
I
this
know.
show.
How did you remember that? It's from 2 weeks ago. You should really change your shirt.
Fair enough. You think you're just like, I switched my hat around
Yeah,
backwards.
different day.
New guy. Continuity. Anyways, so yeah, what we really wanted to get into. So you've been dreaming about this episode for a while.
Yeah. Because
Walk us through.
I love goals. I love setting goal. I love working towards a goal. And we tend to set one goal at a time, and you start thinking about one movie
Right.
when the other movie is coming to a close. But I do think that we have enough that we can start thinking about our progression over a number of films. And you know what? If the plan changes, it changes. So be it.
Yeah.
But if we could make a plan, because we know like 3, 4 movies, 5 movies, kind of what's happening, and I'd love to just like, what do we
See
need?
what
To,
it looks
what
like.
do we need? What does this movie need to do in
Right.
order for us to make this next movie at this budget?
Right.
In order for us to make the next movie at the bigger budget, in order for us to make eventually getting into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, obviously. So what is the budget that it needs to be, and what are the returns we need to get in order for the next movie to be within the correct
Okay.
frame of mind?
So I think, before we start laying out timelines and things like that, do you have a preference on how to begin this episode?
No.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay. Amazing. So I think the thing that I would like to do maybe is just start off by quickly talking about the next few projects that before we put a timeline together.
Yeah.
Let's just agree on what we're thinking.
Yeah.
As far as a few things, right?
And then this will kind of bring Chris up to speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And we could fire up a log
This is our-
line.
Cool.
So Chris,
For the record, this is our AGM.
Nice.
meeting.
There you go. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Sweet. AGM episode.
Yeah, we would do it at a much different time in reality, but this counts. That's what I think.
Okay, let's do it.
So then, Chris, you act
Yeah.
as if you have a question about a story.
Yes.
Because we're going to just shoot through movies,
Yes.
and maybe we can talk log lines. If unless there's something that you want to hold back, Jay. For me, I'm pretty cool to just talk log lines.
What is log lines?
A log line is basically a 2-sentence. What is the movie about?
Okay.
In just a couple of lines.
Yeah.
So if you want to know a little bit of something about the story, then
Cool.
you sort of act as the.
And some of the viewers will probably have the same questions I have, so I'll be that kind of character. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, if I had to guess, I would say that if there has been some sort of superfan who's been watching the show up to this point, they will likely have heard of all of the films that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Because it is so. If I just jot a couple down. So the one thing.
Let's start with that. Let's just jot
a couple down. Okay. So the one thing I'll say is that there are a lot of ideas and concepts floating around. Many. But there are some that are much more fleshed out than others, and this is probably where we are, because we're not the ones that we're talking about in the let's say 5-year plan are likely the ones that are a lot closer to being complete units than some of the other dreams. Although some of the other dreams could come up just as quickly, and like you said, the plans can change and et cetera, et cetera. So because if tomorrow we're at some sort of festival or we're talking to an investor and they're like, oh my God, I really hope that you guys have a movie about NASCAR. Well, we do.
Yeah.
And we will get to work if we're, if we're paid the money or whatever.
You never know. And this is the point of this is don't think that someone's going to come and hand you a check.
Right.
Or is going to lift you up, is going to help you out.
This is our
for
journey.
us. Yeah. We have to take the reins. We got to pull ourselves up the mountain here. So what is our plan to do that?
Yeah.
We're going to build our own fan base. We're on our own in this one.
Right.
It would be lovely if we could get at some stage we could get a mentor to come in and really help us along the way.
But
on any
aspect,
front, any aspect of the things that we're trying to do. But we're on our own.
So the first thing I'd like to do is I'm going to write down the 2 things that we're working on right now because they have to be. In fact, I'm even going to start off with My Huntsville Muse. Okay. So just for you, Chris, My Huntsville Muse was the.
Did you ever see it?
I saw it. The short film.
Yes. You saw it?
Yes. In that nice old house.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
There's a guitar guy out front.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
So this is our short film. So right now it is being presented to festivals.
Cool.
And it will be until January.
Nice.
Now, if we get accepted into a major film festival, then some of the others will probably not take it because some of the requirements are that they're the world premiere, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where it's going right now. But by January, we would release it publicly, or however we would want to start to whatever. So that's why I just want to put it on this list, because it fits in the timeline.
Gotcha.
The next thing is Shifted. Because we can talk about finishing it, when we want to be done, etc., on the timeline, what we want to try to do with it. The next is 8 Limbs, which is our documentary, Muay Thai documentary.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I've seen parts of episode 1.
Okay.
The intro.
Yeah.
Kick-ass.
By the way, our intro, I don't know, this is weeks and weeks from when we're actually doing the episode, but as of right now, weeks ago, we're nearing 500 views on YouTube on the intro, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome. It will likely be our most popular video.
That's kick-ass.
Now, hopefully, this episode far surpasses. Whatever. Okay, so anyways, so 8 Limbs. So then, the other thing I just want to mention before we do anything else is that we want to pitch, depending on how 8 Limbs goes, we want to pitch a new documentary to Bell.
Any ideas? It was just...
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have 2 ideas.
Okay.
One is just a sequel to The Art of 8 Limbs. It would be the second season, essentially.
Cool.
Which, depending, we'll see how this one goes.
You see, the thing is, and Bell said to us, they were like, it's about numbers.
Right.
If a lot of people
Fair enough.
Enjoy watching it
because it's streaming, if they get a lot of streams and does really well,
it's the name of the game, yeah.
Right.
Then it's a success. Then it's considered successful, right?
Is there any part that you think... I know it's unfinished the first season, but if there was a second, is there any kind of different approach or take?
Yeah, so we have talked about this. I think we can talk about it on the show too. But I think so. We have talked to Bella about what we would do, and we've kind of told the people in town as well. So in this season, we've really focused on, it's all about amateur Muay Thai fighting. So in this season, we focused on 10 local fighters to our region, their 5 matchups, their training, the 6 gyms, and their big fight night. So the culmination of their fight. If we did a second season, we might bring back some of the heroes from this season. It'd be for like either a rematch or where they're going on to fight somebody larger or whatever. But the other thing we would also focus on, which we didn't really get into because we're really focused on the fighters, but there are some fighters in the region who they can't get local matchups. For different reasons. Their weight classes are they don't have enough local fighters, or their skill level is so great that there aren't people in town to fight them, etc.
Yeah, they've got to go farther afield. So there's some guys who are too good.
Right. So there was some people who they couldn't be on our show because they were going to fight in Europe, right, or whatever. So if we did a second season, it would be our region versus
the outside
world.
Classic.
What we would do is we would showcase, the episode would be about our fighter. Our fighter would be the good guy, and we would just have glimpses of the bad guy out there coming into our space to come and fight me in my home turf.
That's a cool thing, because then the people watching it will get behind the local guy and be rooting for them, whereas here in the first season maybe they're
Drago versus Rocky.
Yeah, exactly. And we're making Rocky or Karate Kid.
Yeah.
And in the Karate Kid movies, you're following Danny.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's great. That's
the other guys.
Fantastic.
So that's what we'd be up to for second season. The other we won't talk about on the show because we just don't want anybody else to do it.
Okay.
But it is the other idea.
Another cool idea.
I mean, for me, like, now the thing is, we've pitched stuff to people before, and I have thought that certain shows were like, it's a no-brainer. Like, how could you not go for this? It is perfection.
Yeah.
And we didn't get those. So
for sure. And so that's what we would do.
I think that about this other idea too.
Okay.
But I'm not as sure as I used to be.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But the idea is to pitch something and see if we can do another documentary.
Okay. Nice. Now,
so those are just the pieces that need to fit on the timeline.
Okay.
That we will build. Okay.
So if we talk about Shifted, Now, Shifted is the next feature film project that we have on the go. What would that need to be in order to be considered a success? What
In my mind?
Yes. What needs to happen for Shifted?
Something just beeped.
Yeah, hang tight.
Hanging.
Oh, card is full. Shoot, you're gonna have multiple.
That's okay, buddy.
Okay, you just. Okay. Do you want me to pause? Stop it. Just keep it going.
Yeah, you can stop it actually. Thanks.
Would you want to start them at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, there.
Okay, sorry guys, technical. We had to switch cards, so I don't know how we're doing. So, but you had what was your question?
Yeah, so basically it's just, in order for Shifted to be a success,
Okay.
all right, obviously we need to finish the movie. You dream of it like exploding and going huge, being the next big thing. But like, in order for it to be a success so that we can get the next project off the ground, what do we need to see from Shifted?
Okay, so I'll tell you my opinion first. I would say in order for me to feel like Shifted was a success, I would like to see everybody make their money back and their deferrals back, except for myself.
So if you didn't make your deferrals back,
I'd be okay.
You'd be okay with that, but as long as everybody else got their money.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that is the case, in my just personal opinion, because I feel like the next movie that we make, we can probably do it for a very, thanks, Chris. We can probably do it for a similar budget, close, and I'm going to tell you the movie that I'm thinking in a minute. But I think we can do it for a similar or slightly larger budget, and I feel like if we can prove to our investors and our cast and crew that the money that they invested in us and the time that they invested in us, where we can say we didn't just give you a certificate of your payment deferral, but we come through. Right, so
we actually bring the money. The money comes.
Right, because the thing is we did have some people who play larger roles. Right, some of the cast members who had longer parts.
Yeah.
Which meant because Chris, you may not be aware, but for Shifted, everybody got minimum wage.
Oh yeah.
In Canada, so and we may not be doing all of our taxes correctly and all that kind of stuff, but we said we were going to pay people, and we did.
Right? I'm sure our taxes are fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they are too. Revenue Canada. We're getting there. And anyways, Revenue Canada is not listening. They are listening.
They're not listening to the podcast. They're listening to your phone.
We have lots of Revenue Canada fans. How's it going, guys? They're like, we're going to take you down.
Yeah.
But anyways, but my point is that you at first you ask people to help work for free. Right, on our earlier movies. Now people are working, they're doing things, and we say, keep coming to help us for not quite free. We're going to give you some money, but we're going to give you a little bit more money later. Right? Thank you.
Gotcha.
If you're willing. Yeah. Right. And they did that. And so to me, in my mind, if we want to get it, a success means that we've paid them. That way, when we get to the next movie, we can ask them again. Come back and work for us again, because and that maybe, we can make this happen.
Maybe we don't need to ask for deferrals the next time.
Maybe.
Like, it's cool. The growth is fantastic.
Well, and this is my point, is that we have gotten a number of investors, right? And there are people that are willing to invest that are not in this original pool either, right? So if you can show that you have a track record where, look, maybe we're not making major dollars yet, but when we take money in, we've sold the movie for X dollars and we're able to pay people back. That gives people a lot of peace of mind when you ask them a second round.
So we got to do whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
To get that baseline of money.
Yeah.
To pay.
Yeah. And I can give you guys a number, but like we've said, we're going to pay back our cash investors, then we're going to pay back our deferrals, cast, then
deferrals, crew,
then the money that Fable Forest has put in, because Fable Forest had some dollars to put in to help pay for some of the things, then that, and then ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I see as success.
Okay.
Obviously, much more than that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
but
sure.
in my mind, that's where I'm like,
That's the
I would
best
be
level.
very happy if that happens.
So let me ask you this, Chris.
Yeah.
You take $1,000.
Yeah.
You give it to these film guys. They come back and like they come back at you. They give you your money back. Next, like a year and a half later, they give you your money back. Do you think you would be inclined to, like, what would need to happen for you to feel comfortable to stay in the relationship with them?
Before you answer, let me add a caveat. So, we've paid your money back plus 20%. Okay, so we're giving you $1,200 for your $1,000, and you now also own a piece of the movie that you invested in.
Yeah. Now let's pretend that for the time being that percentage that you own, which you still own, is not it's not paying dividends as such right now. You've just got your $1,200 back.
Right.
Okay, but you own this thing.
That's
And
correct.
it's just the ownership of a movie. So you have this, what's the word for it? Trophy assets, right? So
Is this a thing?
yeah,
trophy
it's
assets.
huge. Yeah, the New York
Oh.
Times or like some big newspapers or big iconic buildings. Like if you own
where they
big
don't
iconic
have
buildings.
money, where they don't actually
Because the thing is,
have huge value, but like
it has value
to
to them,
the person,
right?
Yeah.
I own a piece of
Totally. Sports
Rocky.
sports teams. Like
Yeah.
if you own a piece of the New England Patriots,
you bring that up at a dinner party.
yeah.
that's more valuable than actual cash in the bank or cash flow.
Right.
Because to that person, especially if you're talking about the ultra wealthy, I'm sure, I don't know one, but I'm sure they have, there's more value tied up in that. There is a lot of value tied up in that kind of thing, a trophy asset. Think of a big boat, a big expensive boat that doesn't produce any income. It's just
expensive.
It's expensive. It looks cool.
Yeah.
It's a status thing.
Yeah,
I think trophy has the same. So to own a interest in perhaps even also a locally produced production, but just a movie would be very valuable. So I guess if you pay them back just their capital and nothing else, that's a pretty good starting point, to be honest. If you give them 20% interest, now they're like, this is a real serious investment option in my portfolio. And if you then give them interest, 20% interest after 2 years plus the ownership of a movie, you're now
the percentage profit that they made.
Yeah, and now I mean to own the rights of a movie, that sounds awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just the concept of it. So fantastic. I think
you would be in a good space.
I think you pay the money back and you're in a good space. If I was an investor.
Cool. So I would agree with you there, Jay. I would say that if we could pay back everybody that was owed money, and I would say that the film was a success if we could get the investors their money back, if we could pay the cast who deferred money, and if we could pay the crew who deferred money. I think even if Fable Forest took the hit for their money, it would still be a success in my mind, because we don't like you don't owe anyone, right?
That is true. That is true.
And Fable Forest will find a way to bring in some more dollars, right?
Yeah.
What's the metric? So what's the thing that you can test? For example, is there a kind of income per viewer or something, like, or revenue per viewer? In other words, if someone went onto Netflix and watched it, or someone was on Vimeo and watched it, or someone went to the theater and watched it, how much revenue comes all the way back through all the layers back to...
So there are differences, right? And I don't know anything for the record.
Okay.
Except in our specific case, the 3 ways that we have made money on the films so far are having people come to watch them in theater in a gala type format.
Local fans.
Fans.
Yeah.
Second is through the sale of DVDs and our USB sticks that we've created.
Physical copies. Okay.
Physical copies.
Yeah.
And I would say the majority are probably also local fans and family and people that know the people that were in the movies and things like that.
Yeah.
Although we've also sold random copies to random people,
Yeah.
which has been great. But I would say the 80% probably are local. Then the third way is the first two movies, we've distributed them online. So you're looking at your iTunes, Google Play, etc., 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 and they are, we can give you so what we've done is we have paid the upfront cost to distribute them ourselves. So when they rent for $5.99 or whatever, we get almost all of that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon and iTunes take their chunk.
They do take a cut.
They do have a percentage.
Yeah.
And I would need to see what the percentage is because it's just been such a long time since we've given them a movie of ours. But
okay, so roughly, would you say it's like $3 a person?
70%. Oh yeah, I would say. Look, if they're renting it for $5, yeah, you'd probably get about $3.
And do they rent for $5? Or do they rent for more?
Yeah, they can. It depends if they buy or rent.
$3.18 jumps out in my mind.
And then at the theatre too, you got to pay the theatre cost. After that, is it also like $3?
You guys keep talking because I'm going to look it up on Google Play.
Anyways, I'm not sure. Yeah, but yeah.
Because if it is $3 per viewer, then you can kind of work out, because you know what kind of target you need to hit. So you can kind of work out how many people need to see the movie, and that can be your just a running metric you can keep track of, I guess, to see how you're going, and that's in hitting that target of paying back, paying investors and stuff. I don't know if you want to talk numbers, but yeah, you can actually get to a number and say, we need to get it in front of 5,000 people, through whatever method.
Yeah.
And
but
that'll.
And I like
totally.
I like that because we can do
$4.99.
Yeah, $4.99. Yeah.
$4.99 on Google Play. So I think it's pretty standard from both of the.
Yeah.
All the.
So I will tell you that is cool. We have not done it, but I could go back and run the gallon numbers for like how much it cost to put it on versus how much we made, and et cetera, et cetera. And we could do that.
So the only question that you have with regards to how many people need to watch it is the kind of like, and what we do need to develop is a marketing strategy to get people to go and watch the movie, right? Like we.
Well, you do though. You have an idea of what the billboard, or what do you call it? The poster looks like. You got
totally.
Online following.
But it's just, and the online following is one thing, but like. Which we don't have a significant online following, but so you need to find people who are willing to go for it, and if you're not willing to pay.
Adrian apologizes to all of you who are following us online. Because here's the thing, you're significant to me.
No, you guys are the best. You guys are the best, but we're not like a huge. It's not like
they know our following is actually really quite intelligent. They know what you meant.
Yeah. But what I would say is that. Usually you pay for that kind of to get your poster under the right eyes, to get your concept under the right eyes, you're paying for that.
Yes.
And the problem that we have is that you're in a kind of a funny space, because if you think about yourself on your phone, if you're browsing your phone and an ad for a movie comes up, you're like, oh, okay, and you do actually watch it. You're like, okay, cool. And you're like, where is that? And if it's not on Netflix, that's a barrier to entry straight away. People are less inclined.
Well, yeah, you are right. If you're on Netflix, but let's say you're on Facebook and it's a Facebook ad that pitches to you Greenhouse trailer, and there's a click through to whatever platform.
Totally,
that might work.
Now we did put some money into that.
Yeah,
and we did talk to our good friend Michael Slater, kind of helped us with that. I think we didn't have a lot of success with that test amount of money that we put down. So I'm nervous. I'm nervous to say that that's a working method.
Okay, so I'm going to make a couple of comments as well, as far as when we get to the part where it's like what we need, right? But you're right in that I think Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc., are like where people have paid to subscribe to watch Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Disney movies. They might watch your movie too, right? So in those locations where they've already paid, the barrier to entry to watch an indie film is very little, right? Back in the old days when you were going to the the video store and you had to sit in there for 30 minutes and like read the backs of all the things and make your decision. Sometimes you grab random weird things.
Right? Especially when the cheap ones were
5 for 15 rand.
Yeah, the indie films in the corner they were going for $1. Just take it for free.
And, pretty much.
But the thing is that there's so much indie content on Netflix and Amazon, etc. That in order for somebody to go, well, I'm gonna bypass those. I'm gonna go to iTunes and I'm gonna pay $4.99 to watch this random weird movie or whatever. That's a tough one. Like you said, a high barrier to entry. Right?
Yeah, it is a tough sale. To sell a movie to people who have more movies than they can shake a stick at is really, really difficult. Mm-hmm. It's really hard. So like your traditional marketing, to like put an ad on Facebook, I don't think it'll work because people are saturated. Like myself, there's way too many things to watch.
So true, man.
And so this is why part of what we're trying to do, part of what we would like to do is like we'd like to keep making our movies and hopefully, people follow along eventually.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And this is part of what
we want to see what you guys are making.
Well, and they know because they're following on a website
and they care.
Yeah.
And this is part of.
That makes sense.
In a weird way, this is part of what this is. Right?
Oh, totally.
People get to know you. They want to watch your stuff. Yeah. They want to share it with their friends. And sharing and working with us and all that kind of stuff is really part of it, right? Yeah. But as far as like the actual bigger kind of film needs, we need to have famous people.
Oh snap!
Well, this is going to come in.
That's a
cornerstone,
right? I'm just writing in our needs, and it is going to be. But
having a famous person.
Yeah, named actors.
Boom.
Canadian has to be.
No.
What about a Toronto, a Kitchener-Waterloo local, who's made it big, comes back to the town to support local.
Yeah.
arts.
We would have to research.
Yep.
We'd have to find a person. There probably doesn't exist. No person exists.
They exist. We're going to find them.
No one has ever come out of Kitchener.
Well, let's challenge the viewers to find that huge person.
If you can find us a person.
And if you happen to have gone to high school with them, that would be awfully helpful.
If they are related to you. If they are you.
They're not watching. So named actors, number one is keep working in genre. Okay, horror, sci-fi, a little bit
for the time being.
And
because I told you, there's certain films are easier to market than others, and certainly thriller, horror, sci-fi, they're easier to market than a drama. Especially if you don't have a lot of named actors.
Don't have the name, right?
Because people are like, oh, it's a drama, and then who's in it? Because we want performances. You know what I mean?
Yes, horror. They want the
and they're more willing
kind of story
concept.
Concept. That's exactly right.
And then the last piece that we're just going to put down in the needs category is VFX, because we need it.
What's it
for some things? So video effects. So it'd be like visual effects. Yeah, it'd be like we want an actual creature that is not.
Doesn't look like a pile of garbage.
That's tricky.
It's
okay.
So let's just take a quick aside for Shifted, although we may be much further along on this one, but we're going back to Shifted quickly. So we have two people that are working on our monster. One of them. Did you hear about this?
Well, what happened to him? I read the message and I was like,
unbelievable. Dave,
he was like,
poor bastard.
He was like, broke all the bones in his body. What happened?
He's goofing around at a pool, and like on a wet, pool pavement or whatever. Wow. And he was goofing around and slipped and landed right on his ribs and fractured 4 of his ribs. Oh, and like he has to sleep sitting up. He can't hardly move. No. So he's.
That ain't a joke. Fracturing ribs ain't a joke.
It's no fun, eh?
No, and he's it's never easy too because there's always like money issues. It takes time before you get your money coming in, and I was talking to him today.
Because he's workman's comp.
Well, you have to, you have to. If you're going to be off, you have to get some benefits, but it takes a while to kick in.
Oh, damn.
And then his particular company also does a shutdown during the summertime because they're slow. So he's just like, oh my god. Anyways, I was talking to him today.
And he has 2 small children.
Yes.
2 babies.
They're rambunctious.
So he has 2 young kids.
Oh, that's full on work. Man.
I don't know what's going on at his house, but he's not a happy camper. Dave,
okay, sure.
How's it going, buddy?
Dave.
anyways,
Good luck, bro.
this is weeks ago, but I was talking to him today, and he was like, yeah, I can work, because I was talking to him about the monster. I'm like, listen, I feel terrible. I know you're hurting. How you guys doing?
Progress.
It's so. I mean, you're like, I'm such an asshole.
I have no heart.
But
I'm producing a movie. I'm cold and stoned.
No. I was trying to be nice, but I was like, how are you? What do you think? He was like, I can try to. He was like, I'm going back to work on Monday. I'm gonna try to work with my hand, and he's working through some stuff. So he and Tabby are working away. Fuck, man. Anyways, sorry, Dave. I hope everything's working out. You probably know by now. Anyways, but yeah, so they're doing practical, monster makeup, molds, and all that kind of stuff. But we're gonna talk about some future movies, and we're gonna need visual effects. We're gonna need it. So let's talk about some of the.
Okay. We know what we need in order for Shifted to be a success. We know what we need.
Right.
We have a ballpark. So then we move on to the next movie.
Okay.
Right. Now we would like to do roughly a movie a year. Let's say that's Dreamland. So let's do the next 5 years.
Oof.
Okay.
Do you want to go forward in time, or do you want to start at the end?
I would like to, before we even put a timeline together, I just want to talk about the movies we're thinking about.
Yeah. Don't worry about timeline.
Right.
Okay.
Don't worry about timeline. Just in your mind, we would love to do a movie a year.
Right.
Okay.
That is
so the
almost
movies.
impossible.
The movies that we have been recently talking about are number one. I'm going to talk about The Accord.
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh, 80s give me
a bit of a lowdown.
But yeah.
So I'll let Jason talk through that, because he might want to keep stuff hidden. I don't know.
I mean, we're pretty good, but The Accord is a movie about a group of friends that get together in a cabin. And if you've seen The Invitation, well, if you guys have seen The Invitation, forget this guy.
No one has.
It's pretty good. But anyways, so it gets pretty intense, but it is all around kind of a conversation that goes awry. And the conversation that these guys have really holds kind of the fate of definitely the people in the house, but even has farther reaching implications. If you've seen the movie The Man from Earth, there's a little bit of inspiration there as well. It's kind of an older classic as well, about this guy who reveals to his group of university friends that he is a caveman. Or he was the original caveman. He was Jesus Christ. This movie is amazing.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So it's a group of friends that get together at a cabin. It's sort of a drama that turns into a thriller.
Okay.
That has certainly in the way that this guy is actually a little bit supernatural. There's a bit of like a.
Well, what's pulling you along? Is it the dialogue that they're having that pulls you around?
Originally, yes. Okay. Like during the first piece of the movie, it's a lot about. It's a buddy movie. Yeah. It's intellectual. It's lots of interesting discussion. It's a lot of fun. The interactions these guys have, because they're army buddies. Okay. So they've been through the shit together. Yeah. They all have their own little stories, and they all kind of come together. And there's a lot of like. Camaraderie and jokes and fun and stuff like that.
Did you do backstory shots? Was it all about in the room?
Not really. There is a backstory that does get shown. Okay. We'll see if it gets shown or not. But it was a bad situation that happened when they come together every year to kind of honor the death of their friend. And so we do jump back and showcase the death of their friend.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow, okay.
It's a pinnacle moment for the group.
Definitely,
okay.
definitely. So The Accord. Okay. And I want to talk about this one in a minute, but the next one is, in my mind, we have Artificial. We've been talking a lot about Artificial. And
what's the bog line?
The bog line? Did you just call it a bog line?
What is the bog line?
Oh my god.
That was the word that.
I'm going to karate chop you in the throat in a second. Just hang on. Log line.
Log line.
Oh my god, the bog line. Okay, from now on it's called the bog line. Okay. Oh man, that's amazing. The bog line. It's what you say. You have to be able to tell it to someone while they're on the bog, and you know that bog is on the toilet, right?
That's a brilliant sound. That makes sense.
So it's like the 2 minutes that they're on the toilet.
Yeah.
Pushing it.
Some people spend more time in the bog than others.
Yeah, that's right. Especially if it's like a a swampy bog. No, I'm joking. The bog is a toilet.
Bogland, artificial.
Artificial is basically like a woman has created the first the artificial being that becomes that sort of has created the AI that becomes the AI that runs the world, and people travel back in time to destroy it.
Okay. Wait, to destroy her or to destroy it?
To destroy both the
Think
AI and the
low budget indie Terminator in a garage.
boom.
Right?
In a garage?
Did
Yeah.
you read it?
Take-
Didn't you
I did read it, actually.
Yeah,
You did actually.
It's- and
there were numbers, 9, 7.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Because there are cops that come back in. There are cops who can hop through time in order to keep the timeline safe. That's their job. And the rebels come from their time in order to destroy, and the cops, they come from their timeline.
keep in mind,
save.
people have made this movie before. It's called Terminator.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah, totally.
this is
Totally.
like Terminator in this room as a discussion and feelings.
a little bit of action.
Right, a little bit of action, but mostly, right? Mostly, it's philosophical.
Okay.
It's yeah.
What were we talking about?
What should we do? Why are we saving the world? Why should we let the AI happen? Should we not? All these people's different experiences culminate in, etc., etc.
Is it because the question is, and what this is one of the things. Now I'm writing this, and one of the things I love is that the line of right and wrong. You think it's right. You think you're on the team, the one team, right?
Yeah.
These guys are definitely in the right. But then a new piece of information comes and you go, oh geez, maybe these guys are actually right in the thing that they're doing. So it's more of a discussion about who is right. Like, what would you do? What would you do in this situation?
Right.
Wait, but is this not? Is it humans versus AI?
Basically.
And then isn't it always, aren't people always going to line up behind the human?
You would think so, but this is the question. Like in the movie, you lay out the situation.
Okay.
Like I would love for people to actually see the movie, but in the
Do you want to reveal
the
them?
question? Yeah, the question being, like, if we allow the humans to run things, the probability that they will cease to exist is really, really, really high. And if you allow the AI to run things, a lot of people are going to die. But the probability that humanity will survive beyond this is a lot more probable. But there will be a very it's very difficult for humans with the AI in charge, right?
Yeah. To cede your freedom.
Yeah.
Right. To something else or to a system.
So that's
So
the
that's where
question.
we're at.
And that now I would say that artificial. I'm very happy you put artificial in. It might be, depending on what the next movie is after that, it might be one.
I know.
Just because it might be.
I'm not putting these in
any order.
Yeah.
order. In fact, the order currently is alphabetical.
Aha.
So keeping in that same vein, The Couple.
The Couple.
Yeah.
Okay.
So The Couple is a thriller movie about a dinner party that goes awry. A pair of guests arrive at a house, and they cannot conceive. They cannot have children. And what happens is that the other couple inside the house reveals some things about their own children and their own lives, and things get really twisted and really dark, and then the couple who are struggling to have kids are forced to escape the house.
Okay. Does it become horror like?
It becomes
Very.
very thrillery.
Okay.
Very
Thriller horror, yeah.
You're
very-
like turning
very-
the corner. There's the bad person.
Very Get Out.
Oh, Get Out.
And-
Yes.
No. Not Get Out.
Not Get Out.
Very. What's the one with the blind guy?
The blind guy.
Like Don't Make a Sound.
Yeah, something like
Something
that.
like that.
The blind guy. What do
I mean, the thing
Yeah,
is,
it's
that
people
kind
running
of-
around the house,
people
trying to get
running
out.
around the house.
Oh,
Trying to
the
catch up.
blind guy. Yes, they break into the house and he's
Yeah.
blind. Oh, okay. So they're
Don't
trying to-
breathe. Don't breathe. Is that the one?
I think that's the one.
That might be
Yeah.
is that not a Harrison Ford movie?
No.
Okay.
I think it was
What Lies Beneath?
wasn't it the guy from the Breaking Bad? The bad guy from Breaking Bad? Am I
No,
doing
it's
that?
the guy from Avatar. The Colonel from Avatar that like drinks the
It
coffee.
was
while
the
he's-
Colonel from
He's fucking
Avatar.
amazing.
That was the
Okay.
Colonel. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, but something like that. yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
man. Okay, very stressful, very
So it's
suspensey.
and just dealing with people, dealing with the themes of people, like the broader theme is, people wanting to have kids and the struggle to have kids, and some people can't have kids, and then what does that mean for the family?
It is crazy, but we do make thriller horrors with some philosophical / dramatic moments.
For sure.
That's the way you do it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So that one. And then the last one I'm going to put on this list, because in my mind, again, it belongs in the next few, is Save the Boy.
Oh! Have you ever read Save the Boy?
I don't know.
No, he wouldn't have read the better version. The new version.
Okay.
I've read a few.
Oh, the better version. Yeah, the one that we haven't written yet. The one that hasn't been. Yeah. So essentially, Save the Boy is about a guy who's, holy smoke, it's been a long time.
Yeah, don't.
Okay, you do it.
Okay, Save the Boy is about the struggle of a father whose son goes missing. He sees the son being sucked into the ground, and he is convinced that there is a supernatural element to the whole story. And the town, he's a bad guy, and the town
thinks it was
him that killed the son, and while he's trying to save his son and figure out what has happened in this supernatural universe, the town is after him, and he has to evade and figure out what's going on.
Dodge, duck, dive.
I've read one of the very old versions of this. I remember there was a scene with the hand pulling. Yes, I got.
So it's there.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna
And I would now add one more bad boy in there.
I'm gonna add two more.
Okay.
I'm gonna add them over here.
You add them wherever you want.
I'm gonna add Postman.
Boom.
Okay. I know this.
So this is kind of where this is in terms of budget. This is where we're heading towards.
Okay,
Correct.
now we're at the upper end, right?
Yeah, the upper end of what the budget
we're at we're at not even at the middle end, but we're there.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Well, the upper end of what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
And then I'm also including right under Postman.
Shifted 2.
You got it.
Shifted 2. Shifted movie.
Ooh. Shifted.
Now the thing is, shifted.
Dude.
Oh my god. You heard it here first.
Oh god, Chris.
Shifted.
Well done.
Here's the thing about Shifted 2. It might have to fit in the middle depending on how but again, there's some things that we need for Shifted 2, and we can talk about those.
Yeah, that's
this to me is the 6 movies that will likely be next. And I think what will happen is, because the one thing that we've talked about before is the idea of having smaller movies that can always come after a bigger movie. So let's just pretend, as an example, that we so again, we're talking about nobody handing us a big check. The one thing we'll mention is that, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, we are going to bring Postman back into the light very soon. We're going to show people the scripts that we have, which we're going to tell people the story of Postman, the story that we went through, with the competition, all the work that we did, the discussions that we had after the work was over, the kind of year of work and extra things that we did with the film production companies, etc. And we will kind of share the size and scope of the movies that we had written before. So the movies that we have, the scripts that we have, are probably in the like 3 to 5 million range.
Yeah.
If they were done correctly, I don't know.
Maybe a little more.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna say here for this particular version is that we need to make it a lot smaller, but
so that we can do it, right?
So that we can do it. But even that, we're probably in still the 250 to 500,000 range.
And just talking as a business model for us moving forward, I think that the $250,000 range, if we can successfully make movies that turn just a little bit of a profit, that pay everybody back, and
Correct.
make a bit of money, we could probably live in the $250,000 range. That would be the best.
Again, if you do the number, the revenue per viewer, you could get, say, I need to hit
This many
20,000 people or
Yeah.
50,000, whatever it is.
Right.
And then that would be a good way to do it.
Yeah.
And then you got to push to make that happen. But
Yeah. Wow. That's,
and you would need to incorporate your marketing budget into those thousands of people.
Mm-hmm.
it would have to go into your cost, I guess. The marketing is actually that's
Now,
that's
when
the point.
but I will tell you, when we get to that range, there are other factors, but we can talk about that after.
Mm-hmm.
So that said, these don't necessarily have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
They can go 1, 2, 3, 4 back to something smaller, because that's the idea, is always having something smaller that we can jump to for the one after something big, potentially, right? And even if we ever get to the point where we've had some success, and we hopefully, fingers crossed, we're getting to the point where somebody's trusting with $1 million budget, et cetera, for something bigger, we can always move back to a smaller concept afterwards, right? And so that's the idea. But again,
and you know what? That's your ongoing.
Correct.
I mean, you keep pushing those movies out. Those $250,000 movies, you keep making them.
So
I see no corny love story.
yeah, that's correct.
Are you saying that's a mistake? Are you saying we should make a romance?
Well, let's step back and think of that, because you guys want to now step forward and say this is the timeline. But if you stop here and say, is there something? Is there a genre that you want to explore as a director, as a producer, etc.?
There is.
Is there one?
Yeah.
Is it the corny love story?
No.
Okay.
No, I feel like we want to hit sci-fi and fantasy sort of zones. Those
fantasy,
are
that's
and we do
Action adventure fantasy.
we do, and we do have one.
Where my love.
Oh yeah, that's 80 down to
I
a
would
T.
do a romance. I would do it.
You do it justice.
Well, do you know what you do? The thing is, I mean, the truth be told, is that
you build a romance into one of these.
Sure,
there's a romance,
So you're
right?
you're looking at artificial.
And in fact,
some of the characters will have that romantic.
The romantic story in artificials actually
Very cool.
is super, super amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you remember it, you probably don't.
Things
I
have
don't remember
changed
the
a little
story
bit.
itself,
But
It's
anyways,
amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, but the fantasy, action adventure fantasy.
Yeah.
Is that? Are you talking much bigger budget? So it's beyond the time horizon.
That's right.
Okay. And I just thought it's just
That's
check
the
it out.
dream.
that is the dream. And that's to be honest with you, where a lot of our kind of stuff lies is in those kind of fantasy, sci-fi, action adventure sort of veins.
I definitely got a lot of that from Greenhouse, where you had that sort of mystical gypsy guy, So that there's sort of like tones of it everywhere, and it'll probably underpin some of these movies.
Just a tad fantastical.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Okay.
I'm sure we could add other things, but
No, that's good.
this
Lock
is
it
the
in.
list, right?
Okay.
So the one thing I wanted to say to you was that I think, but let's have this discussion. I think the next movie that we're going to make is going to be Save the Boy. So I've been thinking about this a little bit.
Okay.
And where my mind is Save the Boy is the movie that doesn't need any VFX, and it doesn't need any major special effects.
No, it just needs people.
It needs people, yeah. There's a lot of the cast is pretty big in Save the Boy.
Yeah, you just have a lot of extras. Yeah.
There's a lot of extras in the town because it's a town of people, right? So there are difficulties to each, right?
For sure.
The thing is now, so we can discuss. But in my mind, The Accord becomes the best movie it can be if we have strong VFX. We don't need it though, and we can do it without it. But to be awesome, I think we need it. Artificial, again,
Yeah.
it needs VFX. Not a lot, but to be the best movie it can be, it needs a little.
Yeah.
The Couple is...
We could do The Couple.
We could do The Couple.
We could do The Couple.
Is it a one house?
It's a one house and a little
location,
It's really one location.
No monsters.
Just a bit of actiony type of stuff. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like the next one. Then
it could be
in terms of budget, right?
For sure, because it could be a single location, just really simple.
Yeah.
It's simple in terms of that everything happens in one place. We just have to design the story and make it really exciting, make it really twisted and dark.
Are you throwing in a religious angle,
we weren't.
Well, now we are.
Yeah, throwing
done.
Like heavy religious, that gets a bit creepy on the edge of it.
It does.
We weren't, but maybe we are
We've
now.
made a note.
So Save the Boys. The problem is the cost. You're saying that the size is a bit bigger.
It's big.
It's a big movie. It doesn't necessarily have to cost a ton, but it is big. It's a bigger scale. So where
It'd be
the couple
difficult to get all the people.
Yeah, where the couple is a single location, the Save the Boy is a town. Really. Yeah. With a number of locations.
Yeah, so we're running around all over the place shooting things. We have a couple of scenes that have a lot of people.
Yeah.
At the point, I suppose, you said the cord needs visual effects. If you're gonna have to do it at some point, is it not worthwhile diving in?
Yes, it is. The thing is that we need the right people, right? And so we just haven't gone there yet, right? And this is.
But it's also because you're getting the right people. It's just a bigger budget.
Correct.
Okay. So we're working towards that.
Yeah.
Because to get a bigger budget, in my mind, a track record is something that we want to have.
Yeah.
So because we have no problem going to someone and being like, hey, can you give us some dollars to make a movie? Because they can just say no, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But we want to be like, oh, look at what we've done.
Yeah.
This is an important aspect for me to be able to have the confidence to go and ask for money. So I can ask for more money if I say, so we need a track record, and that's why Shifted is so important.
Yeah.
That we can close the circle and we can make at least the investors and the cast and the crew get them the dollars back in their pockets, so that we can say at least their money was safe.
Yeah.
This was a safe move for them.
Yeah.
They weren't out of pocket. So we want a little more this time for this thing.
Now, I will tell you that Save the Boy doesn't make me as nervous as it makes you. Because I feel like, for me, my own personal self, the more time I have, I can put that together.
You can make that many people arrive in the church.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Hall meeting.
That's what I feel good about.
Oh,
Ooh,
totally.
But where I'm concerned about Save the Boy is just the size. Just how many houses, how many locations, the lake stuff, all that stuff. I'm like, I feel like we could do it.
Yeah, oh, totally. We can totally do it.
Right?
And for me, it's just about the number of people. That's it. Everything else is fine. And you know what? It will only be a couple of key scenes where we have a full house.
Well, that's fantastic because it's like it's only one step away from where you are now. It's not like it's 20 steps and you can't see the road. It's just that extra.
So anyways, that one, these two kind of stand out in my... Now, to be frank with you, my preference is to make the Accord next. That's the one I want. This is the one I want to make the most right now. But I just feel like we could either make it or we could make it much better.
Yeah.
And very cool. And I'm really excited about...
Damn, that's a tough position to be in.
I know. I'm really excited about what VFX brings to the story that we've made.
Yeah.
That I think it might be worth having it come next. And so that I was giving it a lot of thought on the motorcycle ride, and I was thinking about Save the Boy a lot, because I was rerunning through the new story, and I was like, man, it is really good. So I was thinking the same thing. It's a bigger movie. But it doesn't necessarily have to cost a lot more.
No. We just have to take the key crew to a new place, right?
Right. And that reminds me of Bickerman's Grove. right? We did a lot more traveling in Bickerman's Grove than we did for Shifted.
Mm-hmm.
Shifted was genius because it was all right here,
Yeah.
right? So it's
Still
a lot more.
took a long time.
It still took a long time. It's still not quite done. So
Still going.
right. So we would have to be smarter
Yeah.
in how we travel.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that's, I don't know. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I would say certainly in terms
Walk
of,
me through your thoughts for all.
Yeah, okay. Certainly, in my mind, we were going to do the Accord next.
Yeah.
Then it would be. I didn't even think of Save the Boy. Then it would
Really?
be. Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't. It wasn't in my radar. Actually, I actually forgot about it, to be honest. But this is what happens when you write scripts. You're just like banging things out as fast as you can. Like you're like, oh, that wasn't a terrible script. I mean, it had work.
At the time, you were probably like really into it.
Oh, yeah,
like,
man.
it sort of
We
dived in.
we actually spent a lot of time tearing it apart.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Making it better.
Yeah.
Breaking it down, making it
It
better.
was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
So I actually didn't even think about Save the Boy. But then I thought the Accord would be next, and then I thought there would be something else, and then I thought Artificial would come, and we would get to Postman eventually, and yes, and Shifted too. So I thought the Accord would sit around the same budget. I thought that the next movie we made, being the Accord, would sit around the same budget as Shifted.
Okay, so that's possible.
That's what I thought. Single location, sort of thriller. There is a little bit of VFX that needs to be done. And yes, that might cost a little bit of money, but there's a little bit of VFX that needs to be done and Shifted, right?
Yeah.
So, which we're still working out, which
Yeah.
we don't really have a handle on, but it's got similar
needs.
Yeah.
And so this is the thing. I'm fine with this one being next. I'm also fine with this one being next.
Oh yeah. Cool.
And I'm also fine with the couple being next. I really am.
Yeah.
The thing is, the couple doesn't have a completed script. It just has
Just
a story.
concept, yeah.
Save the Boy technically does not have a completed script, but the beats that we've worked out for the new story are quite complete.
Yeah. So
And-
I mean, it's another draft of the script.
Yeah.
Yeah. The script got banged out, and
Okay, can I ask you, as the sort of third party sort
Sure.
of thing, if you had to make these three, you could choose between these three movies. They're called The Couple, Save the Boy, and your reasoning was based purely on
what you want.
you're going to die in a year. Which one do you want to do?
Yeah.
Which one would you do?
Different.
I'm going to die in a year.
You're going to die in a year. You can only make one.
You
Which
should
one
have
would you
eaten all those McDonald's burgers, you.
do? So you have to choose.
I'd rather make Postman if I'm going to die in a year.
Okay, but you can only choose these three.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. I mean, it's got to be the Accord.
I'd make Save the Boy. Yeah.
Save the Boy.
But that's because the Accord is his creative. It's his
Oh,
creative
it's your baby,
acorn,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Whereas Save the Boy is my creative acorn, right?
Okay.
Like
Okay, now the next one. If you could make these three movies and it was on the smallest budget possible, which of the three would you make?
The Couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. It's much
Why?
smaller.
Oh, smaller
'Cause,
scale.
Yeah,
there's
it's a
there's
single
no
location and there's no
single
VFX.
location, there's 5 actors.
Okay.
The only effect that we have is a house burning, and we can do that digitally.
That's kind of the decision, isn't it?
And
Yeah, for the next movie.
That's kind of the decision made, right?
Totally. Except
Except that we're not ready with a script.
A completed script is a big deal. Like we went into Shifted without a completed script, and we were like, not gonna do that again.
No, that was
Well,
ridiculous.
You can't plan things.
well, knowing that it's next, I guess you can make.
Take a second.
Oh.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
what is
Oh,
that?
yeah.
OMG.
Honey nuts.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
this
Yeah.
podcast is about to get better.
So my wife just brought in nuts roasted in honey, and she did herself, still hot from the oven.
Does this happen in every Canadian house at about 10, 11 p.m.?
It never happens on our podcast. I'll tell you what. We need to have awesome guests more
Yeah.
often.
I know.
Okay, and then purely for the business, what all of the three, which will take you forward to the next step?
Which would sell most?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which is the most likelihood of reaching the most number of viewers?
I mean, you see, we don't have the best experience with this.
Well,
Probably
best
the couple.
case.
I mean, the couple, yeah. If you do a bit of blood and guts and you do a bit of scary.
You don't need a famous actor. It's a concept.
I mean, you could do with a famous actor for sure. In the couple.
Okay.
But we don't need it.
But it's not. It's just not required, I suppose.
What a dick. Hey, you come here. Fuck with that shit.
What are the angle? What are they going to come through? You.
The problem with the couple
Yeah, what's the problem?
is there's only one problem. It's just we gotta hustle our asses with a script.
Yeah.
Which means, like, maybe I don't know. Maybe I take a crack at the skeleton, and then we hash through it again a couple times. Fuck. Oh, the problem is I'm a terrible writer.
Well,
You just.
this is amazing.